let's talk about employees for a moment, because I can imagine that different employees will have different attitudes to energy and climate change. Some of them will be geared up to turning off the lights when they leave the office. Some of them will be geared up to perhaps more sophisticated things. Can you describe the basis of a more comprehensive program of engagement?
For me, I do it very simply,
Right.
in the sense that I actually discuss, enroll people, pull people into the conversation. I mean, explore their ideas, their reservations, what they like, what they don't like. In a sense, I actually try to know people, what makes them tick. And very funny, it's always the very, very simple stuff that actually makes people tick. People like to be acknowledged. People like to be given a pat on the shoulder when they did a very good job. People like their ideas acknowledged. And really, for me, it's actually forming a platform or an environment to pull the ideas out, to actually engage people. And quite often when I have an idea, I actually discuss it with the shop floor people, I discuss it with the managers, with the peers, and also with the top people, to gather that idea. And when everyone actually feel involved, they would want to make it happen.
Sure.
And it's, for me, the command and control way tend not to work for engagement, because it's driving absolutely the opposite reaction.
Talk me through the case example that you used in your book.
Right, in the case study that I've used, is actually appearing in the prologue, is a case for James Brown, or brackets where everyone calls him Jimbo. And in this case study, we actually spent a day in a manufacturing life of Jimbo. And Jimbo works for a fictitious company called Welch Pharmaceutical in a fictitious town called Welch.
Okay.
And essentially, Jimbo is actually coming back from an energy conference with the Environment Agency, and they've rolled out this new requirement where they've got to reduce energy consumption year on year. And Jim is actually very interested to make it happen, but is actually quite stuck, not sure how he could actually reduce energy consumption year on year. And in the case, we actually spent a day of his working life in the factory. And I mean, throughout the case, I mean, from the very early start, Jimbo arrives early in the morning to the end of the case study. There's actually a lot of energy reduction opportunity.
Give me some examples.
For example, squeaking belts on a fan. For example, heat being felt a distance away from the ovens. For example, lab doors that couldn't be opened because it's too much pressure inside. I mean, a lot of these are examples which a lot of people see day to day, but they don't actually make that connection to an opportunity to reduce energy. Don't get me wrong, all these people are very, very smart people. They're very good at doing what the business asks of them. Why are they not picking up the opportunities? I think it's a combination of knowledge and the ability to link it with work.
Right. Yes.
A lot of the marketing literature, a lot of the trade journals are very, very focused into the technology specific. The languages are the language of an engineer, which is fine for marketing a product to an engineer, but when it comes to marketing that product to a business manager or to an operator, it'll be complete blank.
I understand, yes.
And which is why I've put in the book a lot of case studies that are very generic, and I've actually used very simple language and stripped out all the formulas. That's with the hope of trying to connect with people that are less well versed in the technology, but they still could have the idea.
Yes.
That there's a resistance in opening the door, there's an opportunity.
Yes, yes.
I keep stripping out my heat exchanger for cleaning, that's an opportunity.
Right. Yes. Yes. I can see that the importance of opportunity spotting, because an awful lot of these things, even if they're slightly they take extra time or they're slightly inconvenient, employees will get used to the way things are, and they'll no longer see the problem. And I guess they also may not see it in terms of energy management. They may see it in other terms. That would suggest that there's quite a responsibility in the organisation itself to make sure that there's a space and a place to pick up these things that people are telling them and actually action them, so that employees feel that their ideas are really have a resonance and are being acted on.
You're right. And if the organisation uses a management system, there's a specific place to pick those things up. And just to share with you an example that I had, I think about 3 years back, I was working on a site where they're investing in energy efficiency improvement projects that should give them 3.5% improvement. But they're actually not seeing a 3.5% reduction in the bill.
Right.
And I actually went in and have a look, and what it transpires is, yes, we're actually saving 3.5% there, but we're actually burning off elsewhere because something has degraded, the performance of the heat exchangers has degraded, and it was leaking, and it was actually stopped, and we're losing the equivalent amount of energy there. And which is where we need to have a good grip of operations.
Yes.
Because if we think of energy as a separate, then we don't link operations and maintenance to energy.
Yes, yes, yes.
And that's where a good system brings that together.